Hey everyone, it's Kabir here. So in last session, we saw the concepts like how can we create a table, spinners, and input groups, right? In the Bootstrap. So sometimes it will be very useful for you guys when you are going for different applications. Like if you are going to create a different applications, you should know that these options are present in the Bootstrap so that it will be very easy for you guys to implement it, right? So today we are going to learn many more concepts like we are going to see how we can create the models, how we can create navbars, and apart from that we are going to understand how we can create collapse and accordion and pagination. So you get the requirement where we have to implement the pagination kind of things, like yeah, if you have some 10 pages in your website, now you wanted to move from one page to second page, so you need to create some paginations. So let's start today's concept with the pagination. So what is pagination? Okay, so let me create a new file known as 13 pagination.html. Okay guys, so let me take the skeleton. So I'm gonna copy the skeleton, just added it. So I have added the awesome, like font awesome, which already we saw in the last session, so that particular thing. And apart from that I have added two more things like script. Like whenever you're going to download that MD Bootstrap, right, in that you are going to get the CSS as well as you are going to get JS, means the operations we have to perform which is related to JS, right? So we have to link this kind of files in our file. So how we have linked the CSS, in the same way we have to link these JS files also. In JS I'm going to take jquery.js and bootstrap.js, and in the same sequence you have to give after the your body is loaded, right? So before the closing your body tag, just take a script tag, give a attribute src. In src we have to give the location path. In css we are giving link and href, right? In href we are giving the location of our file. In the same way, in script tag we have to write the attribute called srs, where you have to provide the link, or I mean path of your file. So first of all you have to add the jquery.js and bootstrap, and they are present in the JS. Here bootstrap are present in the CS, and jquery and bootstrap.js are present in the JS folder. So you have to be careful while linking the files. Okay, that's the extra thing I have added into the skeletons. Okay, now let us see how we can create a pagination. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one div. Okay, fine. Inside this div I will be taking one UL, and inside UL I'm taking li, and I'm mentioning something like previous. Okay, and let me take one more li, and this time let me say it has a 1. So I'm going to copy these things. So let me copy and paste. I think it has not copied. Let me copy once again. So once we have copied, paste it, paste it. Okay, now this will be 2, and this should be 3, this should be 4, right? And this should be 5. And let me take one more li, and that should be next. Okay guys, now whenever you wanted to create a pagination, so you have to follow some kind of classes, right guys? And that classes is given by the Bootstrap. So for pagination, what are that classes? Let me see it. Okay guys, so the first class what I wanted to see is pagination. The class should be, the parent class will be the pagination. Okay guys, now it has two more classes like page item and page link. Apart from that we have pagination small, which is very similar to our spinner grow small, spinners grow medium, that kind of thing. And active is to just to mention that which page you are to. So if you wanted to mention that page as active, so we use this particular attribute, I mean class, not attribute, it is a class. And in the same way we have pagination circle as well. So as of now, just remember, first of all it should be the pagination. So here what I'm going to do, we have a UL, right? So I'm going to mention class equals to pagination. Fine. Now every pagination items will be page item. So here link will be class equals to page item. Now instead of this giving like previous, I wanted to provide a link. So a href equals to hash, and this href is will be nothing but your page link class. So this is the page link class. Just close that, and inside this provide previous. That's it, guys. Now just I wanted to copy these things and just paste here everywhere. So the UL has a parent, that is the pagination, and items will be page item. Inside that we have a link, so we will be calling page link. Right now here let me changes the values from previous to 1, and it will be 2. Okay guys, this will be 3, this will be 4, and this will be 5, and next. So let us see how it is going to look like in our browser. So for that, just next right click, open in the default browser. Now this is how the pagination concept is there. Guys, you are able to see some previous, first, second, third. Like if you wanted to go fifth, you will click fifth. If you have still more, if you click next, it will come like 6, 7, 8, 9, like that. Okay, now we want some border, right? So that's why we took the div. Now we can give something here like class equals to not class, it should be like style equals to border. I will be taking 1 pixel solid dark gray. So you can take any kind of color, that's not a big deal. So if you come here and refresh it, now you are able to see some kind of background. Like still we have to do little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm just removing these things from here, and let me take style tag. So I will be taking a style tag. So I want this class, right? This, so let me give class equals to something like pagination container. Any class you can give any name. So let me take it as .p container. Okay guys, and what we wanted to give border, so I will be giving border 1 pixel solid and something like dark gray. Okay guys, now I wanted to give some padding as well. So padding should be something like 5 pixel. That's it. Now if you save and come here, now you can see here, now you are able to see some margin, right? Let me remove this margin as well. So that margin might be for your pagination. So let's try. So I will be saying dot pagination, and we have to remove margin bottom as 0 pixel. So let me come and refresh. Now we got that's, now it is looking little bit better, right? Now this is the thing. Now if you wanted to make a little bit small, so for that we have a class called pagination small. So here just you have to give pagination sm. That's it guys. Now just save it and refresh. Now it is this is a small kind of. Now we have 3 categories: small, medium and large. So let's try all this. So I'm going to copy this. So let me paste and let me say mt-3, something like that. No, it's not coming. So let me do one thing. Okay, we have to copy everything this. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me remove this thing and let me copy complete this div. Okay guys, just paste and just say here mt3, something like that. and come here and let's refresh it. Now we got right. Now this is a small, I wanted to make it as a medium, so by default it will be medium only, so MD. And in the same way I want one more, so I will copy, and this time it should be LG, means large. Copy it and come here and just see. Yeah, now this is small, this is medium, this is large pagination, right? Now by default you are getting some background also, which is very dark. So apart from that we have many more things, so let me paste one more. And this time if I wanted to make someone as active, for example I wanted to make this particular link as active, just say active. Now see, now we got it as active. Now it is in a square, right? I wanted to make it as circle, so for that we have pagination circle. This is the pagination circle. So let me come here and paste it one more, and this time let me add something like pagination circle. Let me come here, let me see active, we didn't add a active. Now we got it in the circle. Now this is a square. Now this thing, if you wanted to give background colors, you can give background color as well, that's not big deal. So let me come here and paste something here for this pagination. If I say BG danger, some kind of color. Now let me see how it is going to apply. Now we got, now instead of this pagination we can give this particular BG danger to the div. So let me say BG danger. You can remove from there. Now this is how you can do. Now you can change the color of this one. Now this is nothing but your pagination item, right? Now you can change item background color as well. Just you guys have to override the bootstrap properties using the CSS. Now that's the concept of your pagination. Okay guys, now sometimes we get the requirement of creating collapse. Now let us see, understand what is collapse. So let me create one more file, 12, let me say collapse accordion.html. Okay guys, so let me take a skeleton completely. Okay, now we are in the 13th. Let me come here. Yeah, now this is the skeleton guys, right? Now let me copy this thing. Just a minute guys. So like we just copied the skeleton. So now what we have to do, like we have created the file, I gave the number 12, so I was confused. So let me change the number to 14. Yeah, fine, now it is 14. So let me paste it. Now what is collapse guys? Just consider I'm going to create a button. Let me show you in the paint. I have one button. Just consider I have something like button which I will be displaying like React. Now when I'm going to click on this button, a div should appear like this. A div should appear, and here some information should be there. Okay guys, some information should be appear about the React. Now the button will be like React button. So once I click on this button, this div come. If I click again, it should disappear. It should be like a toggle kind of thing. If I click, it should appear. If again I click, it should disappear. So such thing if you wanted to do, then we go for the collapse and accordion. So let us see how we can create. So let me take a div. Okay, fine. Now here let me take a button and let me give some bootstrap classes for that button like btn primary. Okay, fine. Now let me give the name like React. Okay, fine. Now let me provide some informations about it, like okay, let me see how it is going to look like. First of all, so comes to our browser. Now this is the React button. So if I click here, a dialog box should come, like one div should come, one box kind of thing, and some information should be there about the React. So let me say, let me take a div. Okay guys, let me take something like p and lorem, something like 70 tab, and apart from that, let me take something here like h5, and let me say React details, something, some heading, right? Okay, React concept or something like that. Now if you come to the browser, now just if you refresh, now you got, right? Now I wanted to create it like a box. So what I will be doing, I will be just giving a class equals to something like border, right guys? Let me give some style equals to border 1 pixel solid black. If you see here and refresh it, now you are able to see something like this, right guys? Now you can provide some more properties, like let me provide something like padding. Padding should be something like 10 pixel. Fine. If you come here, yes. Now let me give some background color as well for this particular div. So I will be giving something like bg dark, and the text should be white. That's it. Now if you come here and just refresh, now you are able to see something like this, right guys? Now my requirement is whenever the page is going to load, it should be disappeared. So if you wanted to disappear this particular div, you have to give a class called collapse. Means you are collapsing that particular div. Now just come and refresh. Now it is collapsed. Now my requirement is when I'm going to click on this button, that div should appear. So for that we have to give the connection. To give the connection, first of all we have to mention one ID for this div. So I will be giving a ID equals to some div ID. Okay, now I want to configure this div ID to this button. So for that we have some classes, some attributes. Okay guys, and the attribute is nothing but the first attribute is data toggle. So we are saying once if it is toggle, just collapse it. Okay, fine. Now collapse will be the value. So one more attribute we have, that is nothing but data target. Means once you click on this button, what should appear? So that ID you have to provide. So it's a div ID. So you are giving a connection to this div and this button. Okay guys, just save it, come here and refresh. Now if you click on this button, now still it is not appearing. Why it is not appearing? Because you gave data toggle as a collapse, data target as a div ID. But when you are giving the ID for this button, you have to mention the hash. That's the very important. Okay, here you will be mentioning ID equals to div ID, but this ID you wanted to refer in this button, so you have to mention the hash. Save it and come here, just refresh. Now click. Now you are able to see, again you click, it will vanish. Now just suppose guys, if you comment this particular thing, which this particular scripts, if you comment it, it will not work, because such kind of operations like on clicking it should come, or if you're not clicking it should not come, that comes from your jQuery library. That's why we are mentioning jQuery library. Let me refresh. Now it is not coming, right? If I'm clicking, I'm trying to click, but it is not coming. So for that purpose, this particular thing is very, very important. So you have to uncomment, save it, come here. It is not coming because we didn't refresh. Just refresh it. Now it is coming. Now this is the concept of your collapse. Okay guys, in the same way, Now just consider guys, I wanted to create much more, right? I wanted to create one more button. So if you wanted to create one more button, so what you have to do, just copy these things guys. Just copy from button, or you can copy it from div. It's better to copy from the div. Mention one more div, right? Just mention a class equals to something like empty-3. Now if you refresh, you should be able to see two buttons, right? Now we got the two buttons. Now this time, instead of React, let me say the button should be Angular. And guys, this time we have to change the ID as well. So the content will be same. Let me see it has an Angular concept, and this time it will be 1. Just I will add 1, and in the same way, let me add 1 here as well. So let me save it, comes to your browser and refresh it, right? This is the React and this is the Angular. Now this is how we can build using the collapse. Now if you close it, now you close it. Now my requirement is I'm clicking on this button, I'm able to see the div. Now if I click on the Angular, now this should be closed and it should appear. Now if I click again on the React should come and it should close automatically. If you wanted to do such kind of thing, then you have to go with the class accordion. So let's see how it is going to be done. So let me come here. So let me now comment all this from here to here. Okay, fine. Let me save it. Fine. Let me come here. Now we wanted to do. So let me take a div. So I took a div. In the same way, let me take a button as well. So let me do one thing. Let me copy all that thing only. So instead of there, let me copy here, right guys? So we have copied it. Now this time we got button and this thing. So let me copy this thing now. Done. Now if you see how it is going to look like, now this is how it is coming, right? Now if you click on one button, all are coming. Now this is not our requirement today. So as guys, this is not our requirement, right? Like if I'm clicking here, all the 3 are coming. That is not my requirement. If I click on this particular React first button, it should come this and it should not appear, right? If I click on this second one, it should disappear and this should open, something like that. So what we are going to do, let me remove all this thing from here now. Okay, fine. Let me remove. So we have removed it. So now I wanted to take a div. Okay, in this div, let me take a card. So how can we take a card? So dot card. So we have the card header, right? Dot card header tab, and we have like card body. So let me take one div, and inside that div, let me take a card body. Okay, guys. Okay, kind. Now I want to provide this div as a collapse. So how we provide it like that? So collapse. So before that providing me, let me show what I wanted to do. Now in this card header, let me take one H3 and let me say React. Okay guys, now here after providing React, I wanted to provide some content, right? So I will be saying something like P and I will be showing lorem something like 70 tab. Now save it and just see how it is going to look like now. Now this is how it is looking, right? So what we have to do now, just consider I wanted to change the background color. So we will be changing that background color as well. So before that, what I wanted to do, I wanted, if I click on this React, then only it should appear or else it should be closed. So it should be closed means we have to provide this particular div as a collapse. So that's why I took this separate div so that I can give the class collapse here. So class equals to collapse. Okay guys, now if you see, now this body will be disappeared. So now our requirement is when we click on this, that time this div should come. So this is very similar to our previous concept what we have learned, like collapse only. So what we have to do, we have to give one ID to this, right? So let me give ID like something like CID. Okay, now this ID we have to link with this particular div. So what I am going to do, so I will be taking data toggle equals to collapse. In the same way, let me say what we have to say now. Data target is nothing but we have to provide hash then CID. Okay guys, now let me give some bg color to this one. Header bg something like primary, and text should be white, and let me say card as bg dark. Okay, fine. Now if you come here and refresh it, now this is our concept. Now we are able to see this kind of thing, right guys? But in the same way, I wanted to prepare one more thing. So what I will be doing, I wanted to prepare one more card, or we can say, okay, I wanted to prepare one more card. So I will just copy from card one, and this time let me say and save it, and let me see. Now we got same thing, right? Now if you click here, now this is coming because we need to change the ID. So this time let me give it as 1. Let me give it as 1. Something has changed. Let me remove this div from here. Fine. Now everything is fine. Now let me change it to DevOps. Now just consider it is a DevOps and it is a React. So this is the React and this is the DevOps. Now our requirement is whenever I am going to click on this React, right? Now this DevOps should be closed automatically. So let me give one more. So what I'm going to do, just copy the card from here to something like here. And this time let me say it has data science. And ID should be 2, and here the ID should be 2 as well. That's it guys. Now if you refresh, now we got the 3 run, right? Now if you want that one should be open and one should be closed automatically, for that we have a separate class called accordion. So what we have to do, we have a div right here. So I'm going to give a class called accordion. Okay, now just remember that class is accordion, and I wanted to give one ID here, something like AID, accordion ID. Right now we have to link this accordion ID for all these particular cards, right? So where we have to link, so we have a target for everyone. I have the body right here. We have to take a attribute in the card body, right? So here don't take in the card body, take in the div which we have this card body and this p and this p, right? So here where we have this collapse, so here take a attribute called data parent. This is a new, and you have to provide the ID hash AID. Save it. Now just copy this and paste each and every card body div, parent div. Now this is our card body, so its parent is this div, paste here. Now in the same way, just come down, and this is the card body, and he paste here as well. That's it. Come here and just refresh it. Now if you click on React, this one, if you click on DevOps, it is closed. DevOps has opened. Data science. Now back I want to go to DevOps, it is closed. Come to here, closed. Come here, it is. Now this concept is called your accordion. So this is the concept of your accordion and collapse and pagination, guys. Okay guys, now we have many more concepts. Like one more concept we know, is like model. So let us understand how we can create a model. So if you wanted to create a model, it's very similar to collapse, but it will be like model kind of thing. So let me create one more file. This time let me say it has 15 model dot html. It's a model, modal. It's not model, model. So guys, be perfect in while giving the names. Okay, don't give model, then it is not going to work. It happens by mistake sometime. Okay, so just be careful. It's a model, modal. So just copy the skeleton, comes to your model and just paste here. Okay, fine. Now my requirement is I wanted to create one button that should be login button. So I'll be saying button class equals to something like btn outline white, something like that. No, let me go with the btn primary only. That's better. Uh, and this time let me say it has a login. Now you guys know what is going to appear in your browser, right? Just a simple button, which is a bootstrap button. This is your login. Now what I wanted to do, whenever I click on this button, one login page should appear, one model should appear. If you wanted to create such model, then you have to take a div and class equals to model. Okay guys, you have to take the class equals to model. Now this class will have many more classes, like we have taken the model, then we will have a model dialog. Now we will need to prepare a model dialog. So inside this div you have to take a div class equals to model dialog. Okay guys, simple. Now this model dialog will have model content. So take one more div and just say div class equals to model content. Now it's very similar to your card concept. Now how we have the card header and the card body, in the same way in model also we have model header and the model body. So I'm going to take model header. Okay guys, tab. In the same way we have one more dot model body. We will have even footer, so you can try that. Okay, now I want here to be a login form kind of thing, like h3 one text I need. It should be like login form. Okay guys, now after login form, now see how it is going to appear. Now come here, just refresh it. Now once you click on this, you are going to get model. You should get model. Let me check what the mistake we are doing. This is a model, right? Now we have to give some kind of attributes. The first thing is what should come when you click on this button, right? Now you have to link this model and this button, so you have to give one id. So id equals to something like id. Okay guys, now we have to link here. So for that we know that data toggle, this time the value should be model. Okay guys, and data target, data target data target should be your hash id, that is nothing but id, right guys? Now already I have presented the mention data toggle should be model, and we have to give the data id as well. Okay, now come here. Now if you refresh or save it and come to your browser and refresh it, now if you click, now you got the login form kind of thing, right? Now I want, my requirement is I want here one cross kind of button. If you can click on that, this should be closed, something like that. Okay guys, so for that I'm going to take one icon. So the icon is nothing but I, which is coming from your font awesome. Class equals to, which should be fa, fas, fa times circle. I think so. This should be the class name. So let's see whether it is right or not. If I refresh, now you are able to see some kind of cross button, right guys? Now let me take this model bg dark, and so refresh it and come here. Now we got bg dark. No, we got this one module. So I don't want this one as a bg dark. I want this particular header is there, right? This one bg dark, and text should be white. Now if you come here and just refresh it, now we got this one. Now I want this kind of structure. Now I wanted to create some forms like login, username and password. Okay, so in this model body, let me take form. Inside form, let me take a div and give a class equals to form group, which already we saw in the forms how we can create. So in this div, let me take one more div and give class. Okay, no, not one more div. In this, let me take one input type equals to, let me take input type equals to text, and class equals to form control, and placeholder equals to something like username. So let me make you as a capital. Okay, fine. Let me come here and just close this one, right guys? Now this is our input box. In the same way, let me create one more, and this time text should be password, and here that placeholder should be password. Okay guys, that's very simple. Now let me take one more. So let me copy this and paste here, and this time it should be something like type should be button. Okay guys, class no placeholder, we need a value should be equals to login. That's it. I wanted to create one more button which should be close, so that if you click on that particular close button, then also it should close that model. It should be close. Okay guys, it's very simple now. Now let me use some classes for this. It should be like btn hyphen btn primary, and even this one the same btn primary. That's it. Now come here, now just refresh it, login. Now we got some kind of login button, right? Or else you can remove these two things. Okay, fine, let it be. That's cool. Now let me make it as text center. If I make text center, now this is the login, this is the close. What we can do, so let me remove this as a group. Okay, and let me remove this form control as well. Now save it, come here, refresh, login. Now this is what we want, but I want it in the center. So class equals to text center. Now this is a kind of our requirement. Now this is what the thing I want. Now if I click on this button, form should close. If I click here, even the form should close. So if the form we wanted to close, then in this class, because this is a cross button came because of this particular thing, right? So we have to give an extra attribute something like data dismiss equals to model. Now save it, come here, refresh it, click, then if you click here, it is going. In the same way, I want for this close button also. So just come here and just give attribute data hyphen dismiss equals to what we have, model. Save it. That's it, guys. Now if you click here, now if you click on the close button, it is closing. Now this is the concept of your model. Now you can give some animations as well. So to give animations, your MDB is going to provide some classes of Bootstrap. Now for example, so this button is the right login button. So whenever the login button comes, right, I want some animations. So I will say animated, and let me say it has, we have something like swing, we have something like heartbeat. We will be giving heartbeat for that model. So here let me give it as swing. Okay, now see how it is going to be. Now if I refresh, now this is swinging, right? Now we have some more classes like display. Now we can say slow, fast, like that. We can say slow as well. Now this is animation. In the same way, we have so many classes name. So first of all, you have to give the, so whenever I'm going to click, this model will come, right? So for this, I will say animated. You have to give the animated, then you have to give the names for animations. So all the names you will be finding in the MDB Bootstrap. Just search animated in MDB Bootstrap in your Google. You'll find so many names. So one of the thing is heartbeat, and it should be okay. Let's see how it is going to be. Now just refresh it. Now this is very fast, right? Now I wanted to make it slow, so we can make slow. Refresh it. Now this kind of things you can do. Now this is your model concept, how we can create the model, how we can close the model, right? Now you wanted to close, you can give some animations, you can create button, so close. So all these classes are present, so that you have to just understand the classes and its purpose. So I have mentioned some of the classes. We have model footer as well, you can do. We saw model content, dialog, data toggle, model, all these concepts, guys. Now we have finished with this concept. Still we have the concept like nav bar, right? Now let us see how we can create a nav bar. So let me come here and let me come to our code section, and let me close this one. So let me close. Okay, let me create new file like 16. So how can we create some nav bars in bootstrap.html? That's it, guys. Now let me copy the skeleton from here. Just I'm going to copy and paste here. Okay, fine, we have pasted. Now I wanted to create a nav bar, right? So I will be taking a div. So for that we have a class, right? So I will be taking direct nav class. Okay, now this nav class, if we wanted to make as a nav, just give class equals to nav bar. Okay, now let me give some background color as a dark, and just copy, just save it and open in the browser. Now we got this kind of nav bar. Now here I wanted to mention first my company logo. So for that I'm taking a, and I'm saying href equals to something like hash, and I will be saying like ISMART. This is a consider the name of my company. Now this company name should be brand, right? Now if I do like this, and if I leave it and come here and just refresh it, now this is smart, like it is not looking like brand. So to make it as a brand, we have a class called navbar brand. Class equals to navbar brand. That's it, guys. Now come here. If you see, if you refresh, Now we got navbar bind, but it is in a blue color. If you wanted to change, you have one more class here called navbar dark. Just say navbar dark. Now come here and just refresh it. Now we got it in the white. Now we want some links here, right guys? We need some kind of links here. So if you wanted to provide links, right? So what I will be doing, I will be taking one div. Okay, fine. Now in this div, let me take ul and let me take some li and mention some links like inside a href equals to some hash, and let me say it has ohm. Okay, now in the same way I want a few more links, like I will be saying something like here it should be something like service, and I need one more like about. Okay guys, now if you right click and go to your browser and just refresh it, now this is how you got home, services, about. Now you wanted to make it as a links, right? So for that you have to give a classes. So first of all, I want to give this ul is there, right? For this ul I want to make a class equals to navbar nav. Now this navbar now will contain the items. So the li is the item, right, for ul. So you have to say an nav item. So this class you have to provide all the lists. So just go here. So we are pasting this 2 times. I think we didn't copy that properly. So let me remove and just copy this class. Let me paste now. That's it guys. Okay, now for anchor also we have a class called anchor nav link. It's a nav link. So just copy this class from here and provide in every anchor. Cool. Now we have one more class. Just you have to say navbar expand small, means from the small screen you have to expand. Now this is your browser, right guys? Now this browser is going to consider this space in the pixels. So you are telling, so for the small part, like small screens is nothing but your mobile screens, so it will consider something 576 pixel. So from 576 pixel you have to expand. The meaning of that thing is how, let me show you. Now we have to save it. So before that, for this div I am going to give a class equals to collapse. Okay, and we have something like navbar collapse as well. So let me show you. Now we got ISMART home service about, right? Now just consider guys, now this is our browser, right? Now if I am decreasing the size of the screen, now see, now this is small. Whenever it is a mobile, just consider this is a mobile screen, this is a small screen, so you are not able to see the link. But once you stretch this small, now you are able to see the screens. That is because of this particular class navbar expand small, means you are telling expand this particular things from the after the small screen. Now you can give it as medium as md or lg also. Okay, now this collapse is nothing but we will be using for the mobile screen. See, now if I decrease here, I'm not able to see any kind of screen, links, right? But I want here one button. So whenever I'm going to click on that button, one toggle should come, and here we should like it should display all that links. So how we can do? So after navbar, let me take one button. Okay, and let me give this time class equals to something like toggle, I think. Let me see what is the name of that class. It's nothing but navbar toggler. The class name is navbar toggler. So come here and just say navbar toggler. Okay guys. Now here I want a button like kind of thing, so we have I class equals to FAS FA times circle. I don't know exactly, I'm not remembering that name. Let me see what is going to come here. Now we have to give one value as well, so instead of this, let me do one thing. Let me take one span and let me take a class equals to toggler. It will be something like navbar toggler icon. So we will get one kind of icon, right guys? Now just save it, come here, and if you refresh, now you are able to see this is called navbar toggler icon. Now see, now if you expand, now that will be disappeared. Now once you decrease your screen, this button is going to be appeared. Now this is because of that one. Now once you click here, nothing is happening, so you have to provide some kind of things, right? So what we have to do, simple, just provide one ID for this div. So I'm going to provide one ID, because whenever you are going to click, this all things should appear, right? So I will be saying something like BID. Okay, some ID I have to give. Now this ID we have to configure here. So what I will be saying, it as data target equals to hash ID. Now come here, just refresh it. Now if you go down, now if you click, nothing is happening, right? So what we have to do is data okay, this is the data target, right? Now here we wanted to provide some kind of toggle equals to, let me say it has a collapse. Okay, now come here, just refresh it. Okay, let me wait, let me see. Okay, we have provided. Now this is our button class navbar toggler data toggle equals to collapse. Data target is nothing but hash ID, it is BID. Come here and just refresh it. Now you are able to see this kind of things. Close it, commit, close it. Right now this kind of things you can do. Like for large screen, it will disappear, it will look like this. Now if the screen is small, like if it is a mobile device, now it will come like this. If you click here, you can see all the options, all kind of options you can see. Now this is the one thing. Now apart from that, we have some more classes in navbar, like drop down. If you wanted to create a drop down, how you can create, like drop down menu items. Now you have to give data target, data toggle. It will be very similar to your model, what we have did in the model. Just take one more link, like very simple, like how we took the link here, li. Just take one more li. So let me show you guys. Copy it, and like suppose I wanted to create one more li, and this time here I wanted to mention some course, right guys? Some course I wanted to mention. Now here if you click and come here, now you got course, but you need here one kind of symbol, like drop down kind of symbol. So for that, we know what is the font icon. I just say class equals to, you have to say FAS FA hyphen caret hyphen circle is was this class we have used in somewhere, right? Inside input group, let me take down, it's a down. So come here, and just say down, not circle, it's down. Done. Now if you come here, just refresh it. Now you got something like this. So if you click here, one dialog box should come, and here you should apply some kind of courses. Now that's very easy, right? Now just you have to create one UL. So after this div, you can create one form or something like a div. After this nav also you can create, and you have to link that nav to this one, or else in this div only you can do that well. So after UL, what you have to do, you have to just create a div and just give some anchor links and just connect this div link to this li. How you can create, how can you link? Already we saw in the input group, I mean we saw already in the model and in the collapse, right? Now same concept you have to apply. So when a person is going to click on this button, a particular set of items should be available, like React, DevOps, some data science, cloud. So whatever you wanted to give, you can do. So like this you can do some kind of navigations. Or if you wanted to create a form, you can create, right guys? Now just consider, if I wanted to create a form, like after this UIL, I want one search box and one button, that also you can do, which you can give here. So these two things will be assignment, and if you guys not able to do, just ping me in the WhatsApp so that I will be sending you the solution. Okay, that's all guys. That's all about the navbar and your model, collapse and pagination. So this is the concept what I wanted to cover in the Bootstrap. So, and one more concept is pending, carousel. So we will be releasing that video, carousel video, tomorrow. Okay, now because the length became very big, so it will take little time. So that's the only one thing which we will be releasing the video on the tomorrow. Okay, so just you can watch that carousel concept and just do this assignment. If you're not able to do, just ping me in the WhatsApp. Okay guys, now that's all for the Bootstrap. Thank you for all the guys who are watching these videos, and we are going to start the JavaScript. So we are going to start the JavaScript from next weekend. Okay, not this weekend. We are going to start with the next weekend from JavaScript, because we are pending projects. Now we have to do projects, like we have to do totally 3 projects in Bootstrap using your HTML and CSS. So that 3 projects are pending. So we will be completing that 3 projects in next week. Okay, and from Saturday, next Saturday, we are going to start with the JavaScript. Who are interested in JavaScript, you can comment, I mean you can WhatsApp me, right? Or else in the description you are going to see our Facebook group, right? Just join that group, so you will get all the notifications for the future sessions and future courses, because we are going to do many courses like Angular, then Node, Python. So we are planning everything step by step. So guys, just subscribe so that you can get the notification whenever we are going to release it. So that's all guys, thank you for watching my video.